Hello there and welcome to Cannibal Diva Chronicles, where uplifting the downtrodden is our focus. The two downtrodden women I'd like to focus on today are two African ladies by the name of Celine and Afiba. Celine is a Nigerian young woman from the eastern part of Nigeria, while Afiba is a Ghanaian young lady who recently are suspected to have lost their lives at the hands of a man by the name of Andrew Amaechi, who is suspected to be an organ harvester, involved in the organ transportation or illegal trade of organ harvesting. The stories have unfolded within the last week or two, and they have been quite horrid in their, in how vivid some of the descriptions have been of how this man by the name of Andrew Amaechi has been involved in the organ harvesting business for many years, and which has now led him to become quite wealthy. He drives a very luxurious vehicle, several as a matter of fact, and he has been seen on so many videos voicing in his supposedly Cockney accent, which I find to be quite fake, while speaking to some of the ladies that he was trying to attract to come pay him a visit at his household. The the latest ladies that fell for the hook, line and sinker of his lies were Celine and Afiba, who have been suspected to have lost their lives at his hands, like I mentioned before. The story unfolds in such graphic detail, and you can find more information, as a matter of fact, on pages like Daniel True Crime and also Nezeville. And these two social media vloggers are very, very, I would say, detailed in their description of what occurred between these people that I just mentioned to you. Celine and Afiba were invited in a video, which I'll post at the end of my video, to his house in Aba, Abia State. And you can hear his Cockney accent as he tries to give them many reasons for why they would want to visit him in his very big mansion that had 6 bedrooms in it, and he talked about how it was even nicer than his former mansion. I think these were just little things that he mentioned while trying to invite these young ladies just to get them hooked to come and visit him. He'd mentioned that the transportation to his house would cost about 50,000 naira, which is roughly about 50 Canadian dollars, to come to his household all the way from Lagos, because these two ladies were initially in Lagos and were expected to go visit him in his house. So many other ladies, a few of them, I believe 2 of them, had also come out in the media to complain about how they had almost lost their lives while they were visiting him. One of them had been captured and had been tied, and she had been trapped in his household where he had locked her and molested her, raped her, in such graphic detail in a way that I can't even express in my video. But he had raped her and caused her to sustain an injury at one point when he had left the key on the doorway without realizing that she had eventually taken that opportunity to escape. And while she tried to run, she realized that he had realized that she had escaped and was behind her, was coming after her, and she had jumped the barbed wire fence in her haste to escape him. I'll also post a picture of her injury which she sustained as she tried to escape his house. This is one woman that was able to get away with her life, but the other 2 right now are being searched for. Afiba and Celine are being searched for, and many people believe that they've lost their lives. As a matter of fact, if you go through the recent video that was posted by Daniel True Crime, he's mentioned that a dead body was found in the house of Mr. Andrew Amaechi that was void of his head, limbs, and some other specific body organs. So this Mr. Andrew Amaechi, who was living a very lavish lifestyle, was a well-known organ harvester who had most definitely made his money through such crooked means. And the sad part of it, and why I'm actually talking about this video, is because of the loss of life involved. Celine and Afiba are 2 young ladies that have been downtrodden in this story. Many people are pointing fingers at them, unfortunately, and blaming them for having such, a greed, or some people believe they were greedy in searching for someone to care for them, or someone that was wealthy, looking for someone that would give them money. In other words, they were actually chasing clout and chasing money. That is why they ended up that way. As we all know, many people in Nigeria are looking for, especially with the new government, so many things have changed. The prices of most things have gone sky high, and many people are finding it hard to survive. The country is in turmoil at this moment, where even feeding 3 times a day is almost an impossibility for many families. Even average income families are finding it hard to survive. So when you see young girls, young women like these in their early 20s to late 20s looking for how to survive, I would implore people not to point the fingers of accusation at them, blaming them for their lot in life and blaming them for the decision they've made. Many of these decisions were brought about by the economic situation that they found themselves in. And many of these women, if they were given a better opportunity to get a better job or to have a better lifestyle in the country, would not resort to such means of making money or making a better life for themselves. Many young women, as we all know, are looking for just how to, beautify themselves and maintain a lifestyle that is not one that is too far-fetched, but one that is just stable enough to guarantee that they had a roof over their head and food on their plate on a daily basis. Not every woman that goes out there for a date, no matter how far the distance or of the place where they were visiting, or the geographical location of where the date was actually taking place, no matter how far they've gone just to meet that person, not so many, all women are actually gold diggers or looking for money or looking for how to take advantage of the opposite sex just to make money out of them. So pointing fingers at these women at this point is what made me actually decide to turn the focus away from them and turn that focus towards the culprit here, which happens to be Andrew Amaechi, who has now proven at the end of it all to be an organ harvester. But there's a bigger picture that's being pointed at now by Daniel Truecrime, who has mentioned in one of his videos that there might be a syndicate involved, an organ harvesting syndicate, who eventually, from fear of trying to cover up their own backs or try to save their own hinds and behinds, have actually gotten rid of Andrew Amaechi by allowing the police to shoot him and kill him on sight. And some other people are saying that he was killed by some vigilante group. There's a picture on Nezeville's TikTok page, which I viewed. I know it's a very graphic picture of Andrew Amaechi's body slumped at the back of one of his luxurious car seats. It looks like one of his luxurious cars because it's a black leather car seat. That definitely couldn't have been the police car because it looks like a luxurious interior. And he was slumped there, and it looked like there was a bullet hole on the right lateral side of his abdomen, which seemed fresh and which seemed real. And some other bruises around his face, and his eyes were partly shut, like almost like, that death face of death that if you work in the healthcare system, you've seen a lot of people that have lost, that are no longer alive, let's put it that way. And you can tell if it's real, if it's a made-up picture or it's just a fake picture or not. And it just looked real to me that this man was dead, that he had lost his life. And the vigilante group, which they're pointing out as being involved in this man's demise, and also in Aba. And it's a well-known fact that a few vigilante groups have come out of the East, and many of them do not play games. When it comes to jungle justice, they are number one. They are the ones that you would find that many a times you hear people being burnt alive and people being, taken care of on the spot. When I say taken care of, I mean, you know what I mean. They don't waste time in bringing jungle justice to whoever they believe has actually committed a crime. And this Andrew Amaechi, like I mentioned, they found a body in his house, void of the head. There was no head and there was no limbs, and there was so many vital organs had been missing from that body, and the body had been wrapped tightly in some kind of packaging. And so that proves that if this body was found in Andrew Amaechi's house, it's not hard to guess that he's, on top of everything else that we found out about him, that he's guilty of this body harvesting. So this story is a very tragic one, an unfortunate one that I would like to use as a message to many young women out there. Because many young women out there, I know my people, I know that questions are being asked about, oh, why did this young girl come all the way from Ghana? And the Ghanaian authorities right now apparently are involved in trying to find out who kidnapped her and what caused her to be missing. Because right now, officially missing they are, but they haven't really determined that they have lost their lives because no bodies have been found. It's hard to determine whether the body that was found in Andrew Amaechi's home that was void of the head is either of them. Just one body was found. And since they are looking for two people, it would have been easier to determine that that was them if there were two bodies. But since they found only one body, they are determining that maybe this is just a separate person and they're still looking for the bodies of Celine and Afiba. Afiba has been said to be in a relationship, and I believe her spouse has also voiced some concerns and questions as to what led to her, having to go that far in search of a date when she's in a relationship. While Celine wasn't in any relationship, but there's a video circulating about them as they entered a cab or a kind of transportation, I believe, en route to visiting this Andrew Amaechi person. Young women out there, I believe, are many of the women that I know in Nigeria. I mean, I don't know everybody, but I know that from the cultural beliefs that we have, we are hardworking people. We really want to earn our money. Many of the women out there are not lazy. If you go to the Nigerian markets, and the next time I go to a Nigerian market, I'll do a video for you so you can see how industrious they are. These are women who carry whole families on their backs, who are able to provide even when their husbands are not helping out. Many women single-handedly carry the whole family and are able to provide for the children. Not to say that this is an ideal situation, but it's just to show that many Nigerian women are not lazy. Many African women, including Ghanaian women, are not lazy. They would rather have a good income, work, and earn their daily bread. But because the opportunities are few and far between, many are now resorting to depending on men and depending on the opposite sex to help them one way or the other. And it just goes to show that pointing fingers at women like this, especially after they've found themselves in such a precarious situation where they probably have lost their lives, does not help anyone. It's better to actually go to the roots and see how we could have helped the situation. We have millions, in fact, billions of members in that population of Nigeria. So one person at a time would be helpful to actually address the situation if the government was involved, if the government was, having more opportunities out there for our youth so that they didn't feel it necessary to go out there and search for different means of survival. I will put this video in for you guys to watch at the end of this. Mr. Andrew Amaechi with his Cockney accent is quite aggravating and quite annoying to listen to, if I must say, because I know it's all just fake. Knowing now that he used all of that, his voice, his attitude, the video of his lush apartment in Abia State, trying to get these ladies, entice them to come to see him, and that the end result of it was probably that they lost their lives and that he himself lost his life, is such a sad thing to come to realize and come to accept, that people go to lengths such as this just to make money. People go to lengths such as this. They shed innocent blood. They take advantage of people's naivety. They take advantage of people's trust and people's faith in everything they have shown them and beliefs in everything they've shown them to be true. They take advantage of all of that and they open their eyes, and with everything in them, they kill and take the life of an innocent person just because the person was I would say naive enough to fall into their trap. And if this man, Andrew Amaechi, had known, if he had only known that his end would be as brutal or even not as brutal, but it would be at the hands of a vigilante group or even the police in an array of bullets against him, he probably would have thought differently. But many people do not realize that there still exist vigilante groups and that the Nigerian police nowadays will take brutal force against anyone that they consider to be a big threat. Apparently, they said he had been trying to escape when they had shot him. But as you can see from the pictures, in on Nezeville. He's the picture. If you can go there and watch it, because YouTube really does not promote those kind of pictures being aired on video, so I won't be able to attach it to my video. But if you can go to Nezeville's page on TikTok, you see a picture of him, you know, sprawled on the back of a car seat with bullets on his lower side or lower abdomen, and it doesn't look made up. Many people do attest that he lost his life and in an array of bullets from the police. And if he's lying down like that, it's just hard to believe that he was actually trying to escape. It more shows that they just shot him on sight without him even making any attempt, because he's a big burly looking guy. Someone like that wouldn't, you wouldn't think that someone like that would try to escape when they know they can't run too far, when they have police with ammunition on them. Believe that there might be an organ harvesting syndicate that decided to wipe him off before he would actually come to the point of calling their names. Was more likely, according to Daniel, True Crime Daniel anyway. And I agree with that, because the organ harvesting story didn't just start today. It didn't start this year. There have been many bodies found by the roadside without their heads. Headless bodies have been found. Bodies loose without their organs have been found lying by the roadside, and it's been years and years of this happening. But till now, till date, they haven't actually located the persons or people involved in these actions. Many ritualists exist who are involved in, you know, such actions that would entail them needing or requiring body parts, which is quite sad, but that's the truth. The truth is that many of these people are used for ritual purposes. But who are the people doing all of this? And when is it going to stop? Like, how are they going to find the people involved? It's probably easy to assume that the people who are involved are quite high up there in society. They're bigger and larger than we could ever dream or imagine that they would be. And that if they are that rich and that wealthy and wield so much power and influence, they have the ability of shutting people up in any way possible. And that might be just the case here with this man, Amaechi. He became quite the fall guy for a bigger syndicate that's operating without being discovered in society. And we hope that one day their cop will run over and they will be found out and they will actually be ostracized, as our country could do way better without such people. Thank you so much for tuning to Cannibal Diva Chronicles. I hope you have a great week ahead. Stay blessed and keep showing love to each other.
You have to bring your friend. I see where I live now. I'm in Aba now. I live in Aba. I've got a new office here. I live in this great big mansion. Got 6 bedrooms. So let's talk before, not this weekend, next weekend, okay? Save you some money. Just get a taxi, an Uber, a Bolt. It costs you about maybe 50,000 to come here, okay? So yeah, come stay 2 nights with your friend. We'll have a bit of fun. We'll sort of go out and have some food, okay? Yeah, I've got a beautiful house now. Absolutely beautiful. It's even better than my other place, okay?